Hello, good day, everyone. Welcome back to the show. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. In today's episode, we got a very, very special guest in the house, the one and only Scott Adkins. How you doing, Scott?
I'm very well, Sean. Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you and hear you.
Likewise, likewise. Now, Scott, we talked a little bit before the interview, and I told you that I know that you are also a martial arts geek, a martial arts fan back from the 1980s. I was always wondering, which movie would you consider had the biggest influence on you? Which martial arts movie was the one movie you would say, okay, that movie made me go to the gym, that movie motivated me, that movie got me training?
Well, I mean, when you say go to the gym, motivation, get your training, you got to say Rocky, haven't you? Even though it's not a martial arts film, but it's pretty much the same, right? Sports movie, boxing. That's the ultimate when it comes to getting motivated. And out of all those Rockies, and there's some great ones to choose from, and I love all of them, even Rocky 5. Rocky 2 is the best, man. For me, Rocky 2 is Rocky, but better. Rocky 2 is Rocky 1, but better training sequence, better end fight. You know, still the trials and the tribulations that the characters go into are almost as good as the first one, but because of that training sequence and because of that end fight, which I mean, I would say the end fight with Dolph is the best end fight, but that training sequence, man. And when his wife wakes up from the coma and goes, win, you're just like, come on, that's amazing. But martial arts films, I would have to say Bloodsport, because that was the movie that I saw, and I knew right there and then in that crystallized moment what I needed to do with my life. And also I would say Enter the Dragon, because for me that's Bruce Lee at his best.
Okay, I love your selection. I'm a little bit surprised with Rocky 2. I mean, you mentioned, which is 100% true, that there are so many great movies to choose from. I would have expected Rocky 3 or Rocky 4 because the training montages to me are the most intense one with the greatest music.
Yeah, but they're not. Is he at any point in 3 or 4? Is he being chased by hundreds and hundreds of children?
Okay, that's true.
As he's jumping over benches, because you've got the first training montage, and then there's another one. True. While he's running, and all the kids are coming out and they're following him, and it's incredible. And then he starts running faster than anyone I've ever seen run in my life, even better than Tom Cruise. And then there's that one kid behind him that's keeping up, and he goes, go, go, go. And it's just amazing. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it now. So you know where I'm coming from.
Okay, I got you. Now, the one thing that I noticed a long time ago was when we look back at the 1980s and 1990s, action and martial arts movies had iconic characters. Like you just mentioned Rocky, we had Rambo, we had Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. And after the 1990s, it got a little bit harder to have those kind of characters. But you managed to have this iconic character in Yuri Boyka. And I wanted to ask you, what does it mean to you to, basically come into a franchise and basically become the face of a franchise, which you didn't even start it?
Yeah, it's amazing and fortunate and lucky and unexpected, because nobody knew when we were doing it that this character was going to be embraced by people, and you know, they would want. I'm not sure they're asking for a sequel because it was kind of unexpected, but certainly after the Undisputed 3, there was like, do another Boyka, and now people still want Boyka. And it's weird in a way, because I created a character that was so different from myself. And I tried to remove any of who I am from who he is. And I was so successful that people thought he was real.
Yes.
And then I often get people saying, why are you Scott Adkins? Why don't you just be Boyka? Well, because I'm Scott Adkins. Yeah, but Boyka's so cool. And why? I'm not? Basically, yeah. But, you know, there is that element of it. It's a bit like I'm almost jealous of my own creation. But yeah, it's amazing. It's great. And a lot of actors can only hope to have a character that strikes a chord like that. Stallone has 2.
Yes.
Rocky and Rambo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're totally honest, which of the Undisputed movies is your favorite? Mine is actually the fourth. It started when the first movie came out. I loved the first one. Then when the second movie came out, I thought, oh, the second one is even better. When the third movie came out, number 3 was my favorite. And when the fourth came out, I thought that movie to me is the perfect blend because it has the one missing ingredients of the other movies. It has heart. That's why I love it that much.
Yeah, well said. But I think number 2 has heart, but obviously more for Michael's character. It has the heart that comes from the Croc character. But also I think number 3 has a lot of heart because you really feel for Boyka's relationship with what could have been in terms of I was put on this earth to be a fighter and I don't really have that opportunity, only just to do it in this shitty situation I'm in. And it's like, you know, a tragic character. But then, yeah, there's heart in the other one as well. I think there's heart in all of them. I think I have to say that my favorite is number 3 because I really am very happy with number 4 as well. But I have to look at the action in number 3 and admit to myself that it is probably the best action I've ever put on film. And that's saying something, right? But that blend, so I think 3 and 4 are similar, but the action is better in 3. And that's because I had help from incredible guys like Marco Zaror and Ilran Choi and Lateef Crowder. And not that I didn't have help in the other one with Martin Ford and Tim Mann and Andy Long, but something about those fights in the third one, that they really work.
Yeah, I would agree. The fighting sequences in number 3 were, up to that point, the greatest I've ever seen. I had to watch the making of to really understand what you guys were doing because it looked so real. It was the realest I've ever seen. I literally believed that you guys were hitting each other for real because it looked that good.
Sometimes we did by accident.
Yeah, I can imagine. The fourth, to me, had more of a, for lack of a better word, was more like a popcorn movie to me. It was more mainstream, but I can totally roll with number 3. Now, since we talked about that you were a martial arts movies fan back in the days in your youth and even until today, you accomplished something that I always wanted to do, but the likelihood of me making it is pretty slim, like shooting a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren, so it's not going to happen in this life. What was it like for you being a fan of those guys, suddenly standing next to the guy? And for those of you who don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, you were in the movie The Shepherd, right?
Yeah.
With Van Damme, yes.
Yeah.
And with a minor role.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
I auditioned for the main part, and Isaac really wanted me to have the main part. And that went to Stephen Lord in the end. And they were questioning my acting ability at the time. And I did an audition. And they went with Stephen, who's a great actor. But anyway, that was then.
So, but later you were in movies with Van Damme where you both were on the same level. Which is incredible that you made your way from being a fan to actually being a lead in Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. What did it feel like for you when you first realized, okay, I really arrived?
I really arrived. I mean, I don't know that I can pinpoint that moment because I've had it a few times and then didn't work for another 2 years or something. With Van Damme, because that was a huge thing, because I was like a super fan. Still am, super fan, Van Damme, amazing. The biggest thing at the time was moving out to Los Angeles and getting to go and meet him for a chat about a potential project, whatever that may be. And then he called me back a week later. He left a message on my phone. I remember it. I saved it for a bit. Now I've lost it. He said, "Scott, I've got a great idea." I don't do a good Van Damme impression, so I'll just do my own voice from now on. I've made a mistake. He said that he wanted to do the Kickboxer TV series and that I should star in it. And as a kid, like 23, hearing that, having grown up on Van Damme films, that was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Now, of course, that never happened. but just to have him sort of see in me potential and to say that, I mean, I don't know if he even remembers or whether, you know, how real it was, but that was a big one at the time.
You know, when The Expendables, the second movie came out, I was so happy. I was, of course, I was happy seeing all my heroes being in one movie, but I was also very happy for you because I thought, first of all, this is basically a stamp of approval on your resume that you are the action guy now, and that you. Okay, let me come clean. I'm a huge Scott Adkins fan. Okay, so me being a huge Scott Adkins fan, you were my favorite part of the movie, which says something with all the other guys. Van Damme was my number 2 in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
But the crazy part.
Take that, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. The crazy part is when
you saying that I was your favorite Englishman in that movie.
No, I'm saying you were my main guy in that movie.
Oh, okay. Brilliant.
Yeah, because talking to you and knowing how polite you are and well spoken and nice and so on, it really shows how good you can act. Because I was shitting myself from your character.
Good.
Like you were somebody I just would not like to mess with, and if you would,
it's all that pent-up aggression from going around being nice, but really, I just want to do something bad. So I can portray it on the screen.
I can imagine. Now, what was it?
Do you know? Sorry, before you finish the question, do you know that yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of the release of Expendables 2?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, there you go.
But good that you know that.
Yeah.
10 years, holy shit.
Yeah,
time flies. Time flies. Now, what was it then for you being in such a movie with all those guys? Was there like a sort of disbelief that this is really happening?
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, you know, obviously from earlier on, you know what a huge fan I am of Stallone and Schwarzenegger. And, you know, I was making fun of Statham earlier, but him as well. You know, I'm very proud to have one of the top action guys be a fellow Brit, and he's amazing. And to work with him was great. And I think we should have had a longer fight, but it was amazing working with him. But the main thing was to have Stallone sort of recognize in me that I was one of the guys. I really was disappointed they didn't put me on the poster, and Stallone wanted to as well. But Lionsgate, who are now, you know, having me in their new movie John Wick 4, you know, so it was clear that they should have put me on the poster. They decided in all their wisdom not to, and that really always kind of hurt.
That's a slap. Yeah, that's a slap in the face.
Slap in the face. Yeah, it really was. Slap in the face. Yeah.
Oh man, I remember.
I should have told them to go and stick their John Wick 4 part, but of course,
but
I want to be in that movie.
Yeah, but you can't.
No, they made a mistake there. They made a mistake.
Yeah. Oh, it's not even smart. I mean, who is the targeted audience for that movie? Action fans. So why wouldn't you put your name on the poster?
You know, it was as simple as something like, well, we don't want 13 people. We only want 12.
Yeah, what a great, makes a big difference. Whoa. Yeah, that's sometimes the business. Talking about something positive again.
Yeah, sorry, I went on that.
No, it's absolutely fine.
I just wanted to know, Sean, I'm okay for a little bit because my meeting is postponed a little bit.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. I have nothing prepared anymore, but we just roll with it.
That's right. You're a geek of action movies.
Yes, of course.
You know.
I would like to know, I as a fan, when I take a look at your fighting sequences, I always have the question like, how long does it take for you guys to get something shot? Because I know back in the days, Hong Kong movies always had a lot of time to shoot everything. They were real. They didn't care too much about the story. They wanted to make sure that the fighting sequences were great. And with American movies, it was a little bit more, okay, let's do 2 takes. Okay, good enough. Let's go to the next one. Now that because of the fact that you have many movies that don't have the biggest budget, but still the result always looks super on point. How long does it take for you, for example, to get one big fight in the Undisputed movies?
Like the average fight in Undisputed would be 2 days. And then for like the end fight, you'd be looking at 3 or 4. All the fights were 2 days in Undisputed for the last one. But then, you know, there's other movies where you have to get it done in half a day. But I prioritize the action because I'm aware that people want that from me and I can do it well. So why not do it? You know, I've worked on movies where they just want you to do it in 2 hours. And they're like, well, how good do you want the fight? Oh, we want it as good as your other movies. Well, better give me more than 2 hours then, you dope. But some people just don't get it. A lot of the time, they're so concerned of shooting what's written on the page in terms of dialogue. And then it's like, okay, let's do the action. We've got 2 hours to get this, guys. I mean, if it's a film that I'm starring in, I'll just tell them, you know, I'll start saying the way it's going to be. Like from the get-go, I'm saying, okay, the schedule, we've got to figure out how to get more fighting in here. And so can we do a second unit? I'll direct the second unit if I need to. How are we going to do this? Just have one camera on first unit. Give me the second camera on the second unit, things like that. Because you need time. Because with a drama scene, we're sat down at a table. We've got 3 minutes of dialogue. We say it, get a few angles. There's your scene, bang, done. But for a fight sequence, if you're going to do it like the old 90s B movies, you'll probably just shoot a master and some coverage and a little crap. And maybe you can do that quick, but it's going to look crap. But for me, I want to film it like a Hong Kong in sequence with good camera work. And if you don't have it that time, then you have to figure out another way to do it. But I know how to get it done. But honestly, the Undisputed movies of my films, they are the ones where we have the longest schedule. And that's why the fights are on another level, because we have longer to do it.
Yeah. To me, they actually, and I'm no martial artist, I'm just a huge fan, but to me, the fights look very clean in technique and camera angles and like the hits look real. And that to me is a quality criteria. If it looks real and real plus beautiful at the same time, then I'm satisfied. And that's what the Undisputed movies all accomplished.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, tough to follow those because, as I say, because it's Millennium Films, they do put a bit more money into it. So we'd have 5 weeks to make one of those movies, whereas sometimes you're looking at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2009, you basically made my day when I heard that you were shooting a ninja movie. Now, I'm a sucker for American Ninja with Michael Dudikoff. I think my mother had to rent American Ninja 1 and 2 probably like 20 times at the video store. Even though the fights were terrible, I'm just a sucker for ninjas.
When you got a bucket on your head, the fights don't have to be great.
Oh, yeah, that's super cool. Now, I was wondering, were you a ninja fan when you were a kid, or how did the ninja movie association happen with you?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Sho Kosugi ninja movies, not because I didn't like them, but because I didn't see them. But my dad brought back American Ninja in the 80s, and, you know, we loved it. We all loved it. And I got my first ninja suit through the mail, complete with black belt. I was like, oh, yes,
cool.
I've got a black belt now, and there's an even grade for it. Amazing. And I used to get my ninja suit on, and my dad and my brother would be looking out the window, and it'd be at night, and I'd wave, and then I'd start going on stealth missions through the gardens. So I was deep into ninja stuff. I had my cat claws, I had my shurikens, which were illegal.
Oh,
I had my tabai boots. I grew up with all that stuff, and so I was well into it. And I liked all of the American Ninja films because they're martial arts films, even though I think all of them.
No. You didn't like the 5th one. Don't tell me.
They're all a bit ropey in some ways, I thought.
Yeah,
David Bradley was cool though, man.
yeah,
David Bradley was cool.
not in the fifth. Not in the
Not in
fifth.
the fifth.
Yeah. Do you actually know? I spoke to David.
Which one was the fifth? What was the subtitle? Annihilation.
No, that was
Blood Hunt. American Ninja 5, Blood Hunt. Was it that one?
No, that was number 3. Blood Hunt was number 3. Annihilation was number 4, and the fifth was not even an American Ninja movie, but they titled it American Ninja because they wanted to have a bigger market.
I think maybe that's just in Germany because I'm not sure I know the fifth one.
Oh, then okay, then I can totally roll with your case.
Yeah.
I spoke.
But
to
let me
David,
say, when I did Ninja, when I had the opportunity to do Ninja, I definitely knew that it was a riff on an American Ninja movie, and I was very, very excited. And actually, of all the films I did with Isaac, that was the one that had the biggest budget. We had 6 weeks to shoot that.
Oh wow,
maybe 7. Yeah.
I'm personally very sad that there are only 2. I used to go on IMDb like every month just to see in your filmography if another ninja movie is happening. I think that there are. Even before you started with the first ninja movie, I always believed that there is a way how to make a modern ninja movie and still make it look cool. Because there were many years with many people who said, "Oh, you can't do ninja movies in the 2010s anymore." But you found exactly the right balance how to make it cool. The only thing I wish you would have done a little bit more.
The ninja suit.
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing that was the thing because the first one. There were some mistakes made, and one of them was going a bit too Batman and too comic booky with it. And so the decision with the second one, because we weren't happy with the first one, so we said, well, let's ground it a bit more, and let's make it a bit more old school, and let's not have Casey be in the ninja suit till the very end, so that we can go along the sort of standard martial arts route. And so that was a conscious decision. But yeah, I've thought about doing a third one and what that could be. And certainly it would be back in the ninja suit with busting out the smoke.
Yeah.
The smoke bombs and shurikens and whatnot. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see that you actually give your movies thought, not obviously while you're shooting the movie, but also afterwards thinking, okay, what can I do better next time? That's always good. And what I appreciate is you seem to have the fans in mind. You know who your targeted audience is, and you try to make them
luckily
happy.
For me, I'm a fan of martial arts films, aren't I? So I kind of know what I want to see, and I think I'm in tune with certainly people like yourself. I'm not sure about like younger generation. I don't know what the heck's going on with them. Some of the stuff that's coming out these days, I'm like, wow, are we really watching that? But certainly for my generation and a little bit, 80s, 90s, I know what those guys want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scott, one more question before I let you go. Now, obviously, you're pretty busy shooting movies, and you're always basically on the move. What can we expect coming out except for John Wick? Is there anything else in the pipeline, anything that we should watch out for?
Yeah, Accident. Well, we got Day Shift, which comes out Friday. I'm not sure when this interview comes out, but that's Friday.
It's
Netflix.
going to be out when this is out, so it's out.
Okay. And then,
watch it, guys.
Yes, watch it because it's J.J. Perry directing his directorial debut. The guy behind many second unit, many big action blockbusters like Fast and Furious, and the John Wick movies. He's amazing. And then actually JJ was the fight coordinator for Undisputed 2. And he came up with the ramping idea.
Nice.
Yeah. And then it's Accident Man 2, which is October 14th, US release, everywhere else to follow. Now that's going to be great because that's full-on martial arts film. Lots of comedy, lots of entertainment. Really got the tone of it right this time. It's better than the first one. But a lot of people really enjoyed the first one. So that's going to be, I do think people are really going to like that. And then, of course, John Wick 4 is March 2023. And that's about it for now. I'm about to go and do a few films, but I don't like to say what they are until I'm there doing it because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, Scott, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thanks a lot for doing this. To all the martial arts fans, if you want to be up to date with what Scott is doing, follow him on Instagram. You find him, Scott Adkins, pretty simple, so you're always up to date. Scott, it's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot for doing this.